an old adage that says that people don't waste food. They don't waste good food. They save it until it goes bad, and then they throw it away. Yeah, that adage is costing American households a lot of money. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, the USDA, in 2020, the average American household, mine, yours, here in Dayton, out in Des Moines, Dallas, Denver, spent nearly $5,000 on groceries. But they also wasted 32% of that budget straight to the trash. If we adjust for inflation, which we need to do, the highest of which affected food prices, those same American households, yours and mine, can expect to spend $6,000 on groceries this year. But one statistic stays the same, and that's that 32% number wasted to the trash. When my boys were small, we lived on a modest one-income budget. And it was important to us not to waste a single penny of our budget to the trash. That was no more important for anyone than my wife, who was the chief financial officer for the family. We rarely wasted food, and when we did, it was always a very small amount. And leftovers were just a part of what we did. Sometimes they were good, sometimes not so good. That's how it was. But it wasn't until the pandemic started that she and I were home together all day, every day, eating together, both meals, that we became aware of our current food waste. We also became aware of the rising prices of food and the scarcity of food and the need to limit our trips to the grocery store. Do you remember those times just 2 years ago when you timed when you went to the store and had to think about what you're going to get? So it began as a challenge, something for the two of us to do together in between Zoom calls and competing virtual meetings in our home office. We would spend less, but first we would waste less. And that's how it began. Since I am the chief cook in our house and the chief dishwasher, and that makes me the de facto chief refrigerator cleaner-outer, it was me that kept the tally, standing over the trash, emptying the week-old container of mac and cheese to do the dishes. I would do the math. A box of mac and cheese, a little butter, a little cream, half wasted, that's 88 cents. I would keep it right here. We bought a turnip once on an experiment. We cooked it, we ate half of it, didn't like it, we threw it away. 35 cents added to the tally. I dropped an egg. 12 cents. That egg this year costs a quarter, and I'm way more careful with the eggs. Tub of sour cream went bad, real bad, and to the trash, 65 more cents. Month to month, we rolled the tally in an out loud announcement. And we finished 2020 at just under $30 of wasted food. That was fun. We destroyed the national average. That was great. But my wife, a former engineer, former Air Force officer, she's a little competitive, a little structured. We had been playing checkers. She was ready to play chess. In 2021, we put a Post-it note for public view on the fridge. And that's where we kept the tally in 2021. It saved me from trying to memorize month to month our losses. And we finished 2021 at just under $18 of food waste. The story didn't end there. 2022, it got serious. I mean, real serious. We moved from the Post-it note to a year-long planner journal to document every food purchase and every food waste down to the item and the day that it occurred. We are way under $18. And this is how we did it. It's 3 steps: planning and shopping, eating, and documenting. People ask, how much time does this take? And it takes us about 30 minutes every 2 weeks to plan our groceries and meals for the 2 weeks following. We shop every 2 weeks. with an occasional visit in between those big shopping days. We take time to look into the fridge and the pantry and see what's about to expire, what needs to be used, what leftovers can be incorporated in the following weeks, and then pencil out a few meals based on that inventory. Then we make our shopping list. For example, if there's a half gallon of milk that only has a few days remaining in its healthy life, our menu planning may include a meal later that week that includes a bechamel sauce so I can use most of that milk. Or maybe instant pudding will make it to the grocery list for easy dessert later. Or I may purchase my favorite breakfast or late evening cereal to ensure that that milk is used in plenty of time and doesn't find its way to the trash. Then we shop that plan. We don't restrict ourselves. We buy all the things that you would buy, the paper products, the cleaning supplies. Our budget, people ask that question, is about $200 every 2 weeks to buy the food, cleaning supplies, paper products, and all the things we need for lunches and dinners and our favorite snacks and coffee and soda and treats. All those things needed for 3 adults and 1 little kitty. We don't overstock or hoard. Overstocking and hoarding make for ripe conditions for wasted food. If you can't see the cottage cheese in the back of the fridge, you can't remember to eat it. Listen, there's no need to buy 5 pounds of bananas because they're on sale. If you only eat 1 a day, they're going to go bad before you get to them. Bagged salads have a shorter shelf life. We eat those first, then the head of lettuce. Carrots never die. Cucumbers can't live in your crisper forever. You've got to use them. Bananas go bad faster than melons and apples. Berries quicker than citrus. We hardly ever have fresh berries the second week of our cycle, but we always have apples, citrus, or melons. And that's the way it operates. The key here is to imagine leftovers differently. The bottom of a bag of chips, for instance, can be used as a coating for fish or chicken. The key is to imagine leftovers as something different in the future. You didn't make too much, you simply made enough in advance. Right? What's the secret to leftover success? Well, here are our 2 tips. The first is to reimagine it as something planned in the future or as an ingredient. Treat it as something to be used later. And the way we do that is our second tip. All leftovers in our household find their way to a new storage container. No casserole dishes, serving bowls, or pots and pans in the fridge. If it looks clean, new, and fresh, it's easier to use it later. Changing eating habits, the way that you think about your inventory, the way you think about leftovers, is where the most skeptical of us can find success the quickest. Day-old guacamole isn't bad. It doesn't look great, but it's not bad. And it can pair with lasagna if you try. Leftover mashed potatoes pairs well with tacos if you wanted to. Just remember, you didn't make too much, you simply made ahead. So this year, through 2022, to date, we have spent just under $3,400 on our grocery budget. And we have calculated through that year-long planner with a purple marker, because that's what was in the junk drawer the day we started, a total food waste of just $4. That is 1/8, just under 1/8 of 1% of our total food budget. If this was a game, we'd be winning. Big time. But here's the thing. You can play the game. And you can also win. Plan, shop, eat, and document it. So tonight, when you sit down to dinner, and you think back to this talk. And you wonder, how are you going to pair that leftover broccoli salad with that new internet crock-pot chicken recipe you found? Take a picture of it. Tell the world you did it. Post it to social media. Use the hashtag #NoWastedFood. Then enjoy the meal and sit back and think, how will you spend the $1,500 you're going to save this year?